workers' reason to fight back. I don't know where in Milwaukee right now. Milwaukee and Madison have a reason to coalesce. We're going to regain the progressive momentum of Wisconsin.
Well, certainly a lot of that momentum was lost in November of last year when the Republicans made big gains. You also see this kind of movement against public employee unions in New Jersey, in Indiana, in Ohio.
That's the game plan. Whether Wisconsin, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Indiana, it is a game plan. Right to work law schemes, anti-worker, anti-civil rights. And so we see what the game plan is. Now we who want the workers' right to organize, who want public education, this is the time to dig in and vote again with enthusiasm as we did in 2008.
Do you want to see President Obama and the Democratic leaders in Washington out here with these people, standing shoulder to shoulder with them?
Well, they must do it, because the point when states' rights...
They must do it, you say?
They must, because the point when states' rights is undermining our democracy, the federal government must intervene with its politics and its weapons. And so I would hope that just as at some point Johnson had to intervene in the voting rights struggle, at some point Eisenhower had to intervene. At some point the administration must intervene to protect workers' democratic right to be at the table. This is not just about money. If it's about money, this state refused $800 million in stimulus money. If it's just about money, then why would you, in fact, create more money for building roads rather than rail? So it's about busting workers' rights. And so that is such a democratic core value, workers must fight back, and they will.
Reverend Jackson, thanks very much. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Well, that's the situation here in Madison, where still a large crowd gathering and listening to speakers, and they're promising to come back tomorrow and the next day and the day after that. Daljit?
All right. Thanks very much, Rob Reynolds, for us in Madison, Wisconsin. And that's all from us in Washington. Now back to Sammy in Doha.
Thanks so much, Daljit. Well, thousands of tons of construction material is finally on its way to Gaza after sitting on the Israeli border for 3 years. Nicole Johnston reports on why the desperately needed supplies have taken so long to reach Palestinian territory.
Millions of dollars worth of gravel bound for Gaza. This material is desperately needed to rebuild the strip. Instead, it's been stuck on the Israeli side of the border for over 3 years.
Ever since Israel imposed its siege on Gaza, construction material has been banned from the strip. But now these trucks are finally being allowed into the Sufa crossing to collect it, more than 70,000 tons of it.
We hope they will keep Sufa crossing open for the future. This quantity will support a lot of frozen projects and create job opportunities for a lot of unemployed workers and contractors. A lot of projects will start.
It's enough gravel to complete around 40 UN projects. But despite Israel's so-called easing of the siege, it's only agreed to allow supplies for 11% of the projects the UN has put forward. However, this week Israel did approve 2 new building projects worth over $100 million for houses in the southern city of Rafah.
The people who own these projects, their houses had been destroyed since 2002. And they are all the time, they are in rented places. We paid millions of dollars, as rent for those people.
So at last, the gravel rolls into Gaza, and a number of UN projects will finally begin. But for the private sector, cement and stones are still banned by Israel. In their case, the only option is to smuggle in supplies or once again use recycled stone. Nicole Johnston, AlJazeera at Sufa Crossing.
Well, the Dalai Lama has announced he'll be stepping down as the political head of the exiled Tibetan movement. He says it's time for a freely elected leader to take over. Elections are due to be held later this month for a new prime minister. Well, just ahead, all the latest sports, including on the ball. The South American football team keeping a tight grip on top position.
It was a revolution which ended half a century of autocratic rule and inspired a wave of public protest that swept across the Arab world.
Internet, Facebook, Twitter, they were not the revolution.
In an exclusive two-part documentary, Raghi Omar traces the roots and repercussions of this uprising and examines why 23 years of dictatorship fell in only 28 days. The Death of Fear, at this time on Al Jazeera.
Welcome back. Let's go to Ashley now in London with all the sports news.
To the Cricket World Cup first, and a quite brilliant all-round performance by Tilakaratne Dilshan helped Sri Lanka reach the quarter-finals on Thursday. They beat Zimbabwe by 139 runs in Kandy as Dilshan smashed 144, sharing an opening stand of 282 with Upul Taranga. The first double-century opening partnership in World Cup history it was, as the co-hosts made 327 for 6. And then, with the ball, Dilshan took 4 wickets for just 4 runs. Zimbabwe bowled out for 188. Matthias Muralitharan took the final wicket, but no doubting the real star of the show.
I'm really happy after getting 100. I think first couple of matches I got the start, I didn't capitalize a big one. Today I did that thing. That's why I'm really happy. I know it's today's bowl only one spinner. I have more chance to bowl today. I got that opportunity and I delivered to my captain. I'm looking forward to bowl more future matches.
Well, that means Sri Lanka go to the top of Group A. They're guaranteed a quarter-final berth. The next games in that group on Sunday, New Zealand against Canada and Australia, Kenya. The first 4 go through to the last 8 of the competition. Friday is all about Group B. Bangladesh host England in Chittagong, but there are reports that a huge tropical rainstorm could hit the region in the next 24 hours, affecting the game. The big match, though, in that group is on Saturday. South Africa face India in Nagpur. The Proteas aiming to get their campaign back on track after a dramatic collapse against England in their last game, and they face an Indian side already assured of a quarter-final spot.
We've played in big crowds before, fortunately. I don't think it's going to be a major surprise. Maybe the noise factor will take maybe 5 or 6 overs to get used to, but we're expecting a big occasion, and I think our guys enjoy a big occasion.
FIFA have started an